Greetings. Thanks for tuning in to Diva Speak. Welcome. If you're a new person who have tuned in, thank you for stopping in. I hope you like, share, leave a comment, subscribe. I would like to speak on Rasheem Ryelle Carter, the young man, 25 years old, who was murdered in Taylorsville, Mississippi. This happened in October last year, but it's just now getting recognition. So I want to read my disclaimer first because I am not a professional journalist. And that is just an old girl expressing myself the best way I know how. And research and like, please do your own research. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tap the notification bell. Much obliged. That's my disclaimer. They have a GoFundMe for the family too, who is struggling. The mother, she's operating under shock. She has been moving ever since his murder. When she's going to have a time to grieve, that hasn't happened yet. I don't believe. I'm not sure. But there's a sound that a grieving mother lets out. It's a wail that cannot be described. They don't know where it comes from, but it comes from the mother losing her child. I'm sure the father and the rest of the family, his friends, his cousins, and everyone miss him just as much, knowing that he would never come back through that door again. Rasheem Ryelle, I hope I'm pronouncing his middle name correctly because he deserved everything that's righteous to come to him right now after what he went through. His last name is Carter. So find the GoFundMe. I'll try to leave that in the description. I don't know. I don't have the bells and whistles that these other channels do, but I'll do my best, okay, to leave information in the description below. A black man was decapitated after saying he was being chased by white men. This is the title, what they read. Why do police say no foul play? Good looking young man, 25 years old. If anyone have a 25-year-old black son, you can understand. Look at that. He was smart. He had a 6-year-old daughter who he loved so much. They had a close relationship. They spoke every day. This is what I'm reading. This is what the mother of the child said, that they were so close. They spent hours on the phone together. He worked for her. He had a business. And because of C19 that took a lot of people out mentally, physically, and financially, he had a seafood restaurant. And that went under with the C19 situation that they had going on. And so he was working, trying to get income to get his business back up again. Uh, Let me get into it. I'm not a journalist, but I'm going to do my best. One day in October, Rasheem Carter sent a chilling final text message to his mother. The black 25-year-old told her he was being chased by a group of white men. They call them men. I just say males. And it was 3 white pickup trucks while they hurled racial abuse at him. She never heard from him again. That was 6 months ago, October, yeah. 1 month later, Carter's remains were discovered in a wooden area, his head completely severed from his body, according to the family. She showed the picture later, and I'll show that later. And I have a question about that, how, I'll explain it later, how that happened, if it happened with the murder or if that happened at the autopsy place. At the time, Carter, a welder who lived in Fayette, Mississippi, had gotten a short-term job as a contractor around 100 miles away from Taylorsville. He was a welder. He went to school to be a welder. And they like to say that black men, we're shiftless or lazy. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to work. He was a working man. He was an educated man. He didn't have dreads. He didn't have locks. They like to make a complaint about that. He was well cut, groomed. He did everything that this society said that you should do. And they murdered him. And before they murdered him, he lived in fear. They chased and hunted him down, just like the movies that they make, where they show you. Mike Tyson spoke about it, where they get homeless people and they put them in the woods. They like to hunt. Just think about the poaching in Africa, where they like to hunt tigers and stand up on a giraffe and just braggadocious how they killed it for no reason. But let me get back to this. I'm sorry, I'm not a journalist. I just like to drift off. The group Lower Police Chief Tommy Cox told The Independent in an interview that Carter was one of a crew of temporary workers who had come into the area for a job at a nearby plant. This was 20 miles from where he stayed. Okay, but he was determined to get an income to take care of his daughter and get his business going. The group was staying at a hotel in Laurel County and traveling around 20 miles each day to the job in Smith County. Many of the workers were from out of state, he said. For Carter, the job was a way to save money to try to get his seafood restaurant back up and running after it was shuttered during the C-19 pandemic, his mother, Tiffany Carter, said. But on October the 1st, Carter reached out to his mother, telling her in a detailed text message that he was having issues with his co-worker and feared for his life, Miss Carter said at a press conference on 13th of March. They finding out later that his co-worker who he was renting a room with in the Super 8 motel, all of a sudden made a decision that he didn't want him riding with him anymore. And I'm thinking in my mind that was this told by the owner of the company who Rasheem was having trouble with? Did they tell Irado to not give him a ride so that he would be out here on his own? I'm thinking like that. But on 1st of October, Carter reached out to his mother, telling her in a detailed text message that he was having issue with his co-worker and feared for his life. Miss Carter said at a press conference on 13th of March. Me and the owner of this company are not seeing eye to eye, the message read. So all of these messages on their cell phones, so they are documented, because when you do a text messages, they never disappear. They get all the messages. If anything happens to me, he is responsible for it. And he named the person, the owner of this company that he was working for. He got these guys wanting to kill me. 3 white trucks full of Caucasian males hunting him down. 24 years old, 25 years old. That's in our mind like a baby. They say that your mind really don't mature until you're 25. Even though this young man was very mature for his age. Had a business, a daughter, doing just fine. But a baby still. Carter gave his mother the name of the individual he was fearful of and told her that he was being chased by a group of white males in 3 trucks. My son told me that it was 3 truckloads of white guys trying to kill him. And at the time he told me, as a mother, I had to think fast. His mother was in Pennsylvania at the time, 1,300 miles away. And he's communicating with his mother this trauma. She said she urged him to go straight to a police station because I felt in my heart they will serve and protect like they are obligated to do. Carter did visit the Taylorville Police Department on 2 separate occasions prior to his disappearance. They are supposed to protect and serve. And I'm hearing that they have removed that from their vehicle, protect and serve. But they are saying that the FBI have indicated that these policemen are Klan. They ex-military and they Klan members who have specifically joined the police departments across the country to maim and murder black people. Because if you're Caucasian, they will buy you a hamburger like Dylan Roof and take you safely to your destination, to the jailhouse. So it's just maim, kill, and destroy. And those in the black community. And he was in a sundown town where blacks are not supposed to be seen, in a sundown town after dark. They still have that going on. Why do we allow this? They just passed the Emmett Till's anti-lynching bill. So why don't they remove these sundown towns too? Why are black people in Mississippi? Nina Simone said it best, Mississippi, goddamn. And when they were going through all this havoc in the 60s, when they was trying to do right, they say they was trying to do right, but Mississippi would not comply. That's why it's so poor, because they refused to accept anything. And they told one young man, he was trying to tell them about the new laws and the civil rights and everything. And this old cracker said, but you in Mississippi now, boy. So Mississippi always considered themselves separate. They did not want to conform. And it's very racist. Systemic racism, the Klan rules and reign in Mississippi. Mississippi, goddamn. Sister Nina said it. This is too long. I'm going to come back, but it's some things that I had concerns about. Everybody know about this now because everybody is talking about Rasheem Ryelle Carter. They said after they found his remains that $500 was subtracted from his chime card. So when you use the ATM machine, they have a camera there that takes pictures. So who was that? I know about the rural area. My son had to be in the rural area for a while, and he had to attend a school where he was the very minute. It was maybe, I don't know what the population ratio, what they call that, between black and white. And they always ask, why is everything got to be about race? Because it is. So this school maybe was 5% black, and he had to ride the bus in the morning. And at that time, this was maybe 15 years ago, my mind was not the way it is now. I was conformed to this world. I was in the matrix. I was trying to do right and not seeing wrong and evil in everybody, and didn't know that racism was 100%. So my son was in this school, 95% white, riding the bus in the morning, on the bus with them, and I didn't know why he was so miserable. And he was so miserable being around all these Caucasians. And it just didn't compute. And now that I know everything, how they behave around the token African black in their school, and how they're being treated by the teachers and the students, because it only takes one racist person. And then, like someone mentioned, brother Raheem on the Runaway Slave channel, they gather Voltron. So you may be in a group of Caucasians, but if it's just one that's racist, they're going to stick together, like in this town that our young Rasheem was in. The whole town have went Voltron. The police department, where his body was found, not his body, but his bones, they're connected to the police department, somebody in the police department, the same last name. This is all of this I'm reading. It's too long, but this is what I want to show. This is a picture of his head that they found. So I'm not sure if the murderers cut the top of his head off, because I know I've seen an autopsy, what they have to do to get to your brain. And they do all this cutting around here, and they pull the skin forward. And then they have to cut around here and take the cap off to get your brain. So that's what they do. So I don't know if the murderers did this, they not explaining, or if the autopsy did that. But they said his spinal cord was ripped from his body, thrown someplace. I mean, savages. Savages did this. Two-legged savages will. So stop calling them men. They're not men. Savages. The first 48 hours could have solved this quickly. They could have. They know what they're doing. This is a rural town with only 2,000 people. So they don't even need a sheriff's department. They just created a town to give them a job, somebody a job. 2,000 people, and they all know each other. They do. I know about rural towns. They all know each other. And they know where every African and POC person stays, where they live. I was just hoping that he could have thought to just climb a tree, the tallest tree. But everybody has something that they wish he could have done too. Whereas this didn't happen to this young man. What they did to him, the fear that he had while they were chasing and hunting him down. He started the job in September the 26th. And this happened October the 2nd. October the 1st. It started. And why all of a sudden Irado, the person that he was staying with and gave him a ride, decided that I can't give you a ride back to the job or to home. I don't know which way. So I'm thinking that they told him because Rasheem got into a dispute with the owner of the factory where he was working, where he was welding. So did they tell Irado to not give him a ride so that he would be out there by himself, stranded, so that they can hunt him down? They like to hunt. The smell of blood is what turns them on. Innate of evil. They tell you all the time in their movies, everywhere, what they do, but this is for Rasheem. Did they tell Irado to not give him a ride? I'm gonna end. That's my input. I'm not a journalist, but my heart goes out to the mother. She haven't had a chance to grieve. She haven't had a chance, I don't know, maybe so, to get that deep wail that comes out of your soul when you know that your son is not gonna come back through that door. They got to bring punishment to the whole town. They in on it because you are hiding proof. You're siding. You're all in on it. She can't. They gave her son to her in a box, in pieces, and she had to bury him that way. Someone need to be punished. They keep talking about justice. They had wrote on the sidewalk, Rasheem Carter lives, and the chief or a police officer was out there sweeping away. He said, nice cleanup, something to that effect, washing it away. They don't care about black people. And we're still trying to integrate with them. They telling us every day they don't want us anymore. They have all that they need. This is for Rasheem. All that they need from us is over. They don't want us. They're telling you. They're killing us. Can't say kill. They eliminating us. Assassinating us, terminating us, murdering us, putting us to the death, annihilating. It's genocide. And so many African people are sending their children. I see it in an area where I'm at, where it could be 8 Caucasians walking and only one African black person walking with them. scary. And I will stop. I didn't know before when I saw it, but I will stop the next time I see it, whatever may happen, and let them know you in danger. Danger. Can I give you a ride home? No, I won't do that, but I'm going to tell them, get your ass home. Peace if you can find it. Shout out to the parents of Rasheem Ryelle Carter. My heart goes out to you. Nothing is going to take away that pain but time. And even that don't matter. I hope you find some peace in your heart. But how can you when this is constantly on the news right now? She's fighting to get justice. Fight for punishment too. Don't stop. They know who they are. They need the first 48 hours in there because you're asking the same people who eliminated your child to help you. They can't help you. They asking the DOJ to come in. All of them are. It's systemic racism. What we gonna do? What we gonna do, African people? What we gonna do? They're not gonna stop. They got the green light and they full speed ahead on eliminating black people. That's the way it seems to me. Shout out again to Rasheem Carter, daughter, 6 years old. Little girls need their fathers. She need her father. She has to grow up without her father now. And they talk about the racists, how black men don't love their children, about the broken homes. But they slaughtering us. There was no reason to chase and hunt him down. The fear that young man had. Peace if you can find it. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Like, share, leave a comment, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.